Jessii Vee, and welcome to 2023. Did that kind of rhyme? Kind of. I am so excited because we are starting off the new year talking about a very creepy doll that was actually sold in stores in the early 2000s. This doll is called Amazing Amanda, and if you owned her at any point in your life, I feel sorry for you. She is terrifying. Before I get started though, as you can probably all see behind me, I have a new January backdrop, which I am so excited about. We've got a white snowy owl. We have this really pretty moon. I just feel like this backdrop is so magical. It gives me fantasy. It gives me Harry Potter. And because we have this new backdrop, that means I'll be announcing the winner of last month's backdrop. That backdrop, you had to go over to my book channel on TikTok. And the winner for that is Aesthetic Girl 9814. So congratulations and thank you to everyone who followed that account. And if you would like to win this month's really magical backdrop, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, so my Jessii Vee channel, turn on your notification bell, and then guys, guess what? Head over to my Moot channel, which I will link down below. It's another YouTube channel that I have because Moot is making a new video this week, and Moot hasn't made a video in 2 years, so that's crazy. So to win this backdrop, all you have to do is be subscribed to that Moot channel and comment on the most recent video, which should be posted tomorrow. So right now, all you have to do is wait. And if anyone is new here and is watching and is like, who is Moot? Moot is this really weird guy that has been following me for about the last 7 years. He lived in the crawl space at my old house, and then in my new house, he's living in our food pantry. I just can't escape him. So if you want to learn more about him, definitely head over to his channel. I will link it down below in the description. And one last thing before we get started, we do have another YANA school to mention. This school is Copenhagen International School, so thank you so much to everyone there who has started a YANA group. You guys are absolutely amazing. You're changing the world, and I am so grateful, so thank you. And if any of you watching want to start a YANA group at your school, please send an email to yana@jessiivee.com and our coordinator will be in touch with you. Alright guys, so let's get right into today's video talking about the Amazing Amanda doll. Amazing Amanda was an interactive doll from 2005. She was the first talking doll to have an incredible amount of movement in her face. Her eyebrows move, she blinks, she smiles, she frowns, her cheeks move around, her chin moves, her mouth moves. I mean, it's crazy. Like, if you saw her from a distance, you would probably think she was a real child. She uses voice recognition, sensory technology, and articulated animatronics, and the results absolutely shocked people. She's a toddler who speaks, gets potty trained, plays games, cries, asks for food, and hugs. And she can even recognize her mommy's voice after only hearing it a few times. And like I said, her facial expressions just completely reflect her emotions. On her box, it actually says, "I'm smart, I listen, speak, and show real feelings." So let's talk about some of the creepy things that people realized that she did. This doll is very demanding. If she asks you for a hug and you don't give her one, she will call you out for it. She has this sensory thing built in her so that she can tell if you're hugging her or not, which is so crazy to me. So if she asks for a hug and you say no, she will literally get angry at you. The same thing goes for if you forget to tell her that you love her. Like if she's sitting there and she's like, "I love you, mommy," and you don't respond, ooh, get ready for her wrath. Or if you feed her peas when she asks for a cookie, she will also get upset. You basically have to do exactly as she says, or else. There have also been parents that have complained about this doll because it doesn't shut off sometimes. It just keeps talking and making demands. So whenever parents try to tell this doll to be quiet, it will literally respond with, "You're not my mommy." Or she'll say like, "You don't sound like my real mommy." Because this doll only wants to talk to the kid who is its real mommy. And there's YouTube videos out there of people testing this theory out, and it actually works. If an adult takes this doll from a kid and starts talking to it, it will be like, "You're not my mommy." People also claim that the doll's eyes follow them around the room no matter where they go. And I read a story about this girl that put her doll into storage in her attic, and in the middle middle of the night, she heard its muffled voice say,
"Why don't you love me anymore?"
I think I regret buying this doll on eBay now because yes, I did go online and find it. It's actually not too expensive. I feel like because people want to get rid of this doll, but it's supposed to be arriving in about a week or two. So when I get it, I'll unbox it and try it on the vlog channel. Apparently it still works. I just need to buy batteries, so I'm terrified. Okay, and then I found this really creepy story called Whispering in the Antique Shop. I found a story about a girl that recently got a job at an old antique shop in her town, and they mainly sold vintage furniture, decorative mirrors, antique silverware, and decor, but occasionally they would bring in old dolls to try to sell, and most of them were really creepy. They had missing eyes or chips in their faces or one arm, but that was usually why people wanted them, because they looked so worn out and clearly had a very long history. One day a box showed up in front of their store with a doll sitting inside, and it didn't look like an old doll, maybe something from the early 2000s. And this girl was so startled when this doll started to blink at her while just staring at her. She couldn't help but think that this doll looked so real. And upon further research with her manager, they found out it was an amazing Amanda doll from 2005. And because they really only wanted to sell older items, they put it in their back warehouse and decided to give it to a toy drive at some point. They were gonna donate it eventually. Well, weeks went by and they seemed to just forget about it. That was until one day this girl was working a closing shift and she hadn't had a customer come in for quite some time, and the store felt extremely quiet and empty. But then she started to hear this very small, muffled voice coming from somewhere in the store, and this voice was saying things like,
"Why don't you love me? I need a hug. I'm so hungry."
The girl was so startled that she literally dropped all of the expensive plates that she was holding. They shattered on the ground.
"I can hear you,"
the voice continued to say. She called her manager and they both searched the store for what seemed like hours, not able to find out where this voice was coming from. But then they followed the voice into the back warehouse where they realized it was coming from the amazing Amanda doll. When they walked in, the doll actually had its hands on the edge of the box and was almost peeking out over it. Its eyes were blinking rapidly. It had this huge frown on its face. It looked terrifying.
"You're not my mommy,"
it said in a much deeper voice this time. So they got rid of the doll immediately and vowed to never ever bring a talking doll back to the antique shop ever again. And that is how the story ends. I thought it was so creepy. As you guys know, I am so intrigued by older creepy dolls that were actually sold in stores. I do remember seeing commercials for this doll as a kid, but I never owned it myself. Thankfully. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Anyways, look guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And don't forget, if you want to enter to win this backdrop, just head over to my Moot channel. I will link it down below in the description. But I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!